Hello, dear humanity. Welcome to Human Thesaurus podcast. I'm your host slash hyper excited Wish Ronquillo Peacock. I met our guest through my former job at this startup in mid 2010s called Bubbly. It's like a precursor for TikTok or any other social network that's really booming right now. So we have this celebrity listed users for that one, and Mike is one of them, who is a mini celebrity in the Philippines, and he's a comedian. So Mike is a Filipino stand-up comedian, writer, and a translator. My synonyms for him is a comic book as a noun, deliberating as a verb, and resonant as an adjective. Probably will know why once we start talking. So let's welcome Mike Gonzon.
Hey, my name is Mike, same as the words Mike, as in microphone as a noun, scheming as a verb, and tidy as an adjective. I like the word nefarious, and I dislike the word hate.
Oh, love. Welcome, Mike.
I don't know if I followed the instructions. I just copied your template. So
No, that's perfect. I really want people to do it verbatim so it's
yeah.
consistent across the
Right.
show.
Actually,
Yes.
they do the same thing in another podcast that I listen to. Yun si, for Conan O'Brien, they do. I'm really, for example, I'm nervous to be Conan's friend. Parang it has to be something I'm
Yeah.
to be Conan's friend or something like that. So that's
Yeah.
cool. Hello, Wish.
Hello. So, how have you been? The last time we only speak like through Signal, but how have you been?
I'm good. I'm good. I think the last time I saw you was, I don't know, 2017,
Mm-hmm.
but
Can
it
you
was somewhere in
remind me?
Ortigas. You were with your brother and you went to one of my shows in Ortigas, and that was like the last time I saw you. And then after that, it was the last. No, after that, you mailed me something. So I think it came from a. I don't know. It came from a balikbayan box.
Yes, that's right. That's right. But I think that was last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah,
Last
yeah,
year,
yeah, yeah.
sent me a
Yeah.
candy bar in your book.
Yes, yes, I remember now. That was I sent a balikbayan box for my brother, and it's easier to send parcels that way because if it's just by mail, it's not gonna get to you.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Oh,
My friend from the States. The only thing he's able to send me are greeting cards or postcards. Anything like toys or whatever, they just disappear. So, I
right.
don't know.
It's so sad, isn't it? Because when I sent this my wedding invitations, and
Yeah,
then
okay.
there's a few that went, and they're really highly crafted. They're like $55 each, and they're like handwritten and all of these things.
So they
And
disappeared too?
half of them
Okay.
didn't go, and they're not even to the province. They're just I sent them within Manila.
Okay. So somebody now has a collection of your invites. Some serial killer, the Manila serial killer, or sorry, serial mail thief has your invitations in his museum.
We
These
have to
are
name.
things I've stolen through the years. Here are Mike Unson's toys. Here are wedding invites.
How many toys do you own nowadays?
No, I don't really. It's my brother who collects.
Oh, I thought
Uh,
it was you.
no. I have a few things that I collect. Like there was a time I was collecting these Funko Pop toys. I don't know if you're familiar with them. These figures with the big heads.
Yeah, I have a
So they're
few.
called Funko Pop. So I collected them for a while, and then I even started a business with my manager. No, actually, my manager recruited me as a like a minor partner in his Funko Pop business,
Oh,
but
wow.
he eventually bought me out already. But right now, I just collect a few die-cast cars, but I'm not a major collector of toys. I
Mm.
collect random stuff, like I wouldn't call it collecting books because I read a lot, so
Mm.
I have like a bookshelf. But every now and then, I discard books that I feel that I've read one too many times, so I want someone else to get to experience that book,
Mm.
and usually to make space for new ones. So
That's
yeah, it's
right.
but
What are you reading right now?
uh no, I just finished reading. I'm into Jack Reacher.
Mm.
That's like my what do I call this? My guilty pleasure, reading Jack Reacher books, because every book has pretty much the same plot, so you don't really need to think about it. It's just a fun read. You read it, put it down, read it again after a few days. So I
Mm.
finished reading a Jack Reacher book, but right now I'm about to start reading a book that my friend wrote. Uh,
Oh, Filipino?
so yeah, Filipino author. Wait, I let me get
What's
it.
the title? We can share that link.
No. Unfortunately, this book is no longer in publication.
No
It's
way. What's the name?
The Sky Over Dimas by Vicente Garcia Groyon. And this
Oh.
book won an award. See, it says here, winner of the grand prize for the novel on English Don Carlos Palanca Memorial
Oh,
Awards for
wow.
Literature 2002. So,
So it's
uh,
out of publication already,
yeah,
but I'm
that's
sure
what.
it's going to be
No,
in libraries, right?
no, it's funny. My friend Vince is also
Mm.
friends with my uncle, who's also an. So when I
Mm.
found out that he wrote this book, I asked my cousin, "Can you check your dad's bookshelf? He might have a copy of Vince's book." And then when I talked to Vince, he was like, "Oh, I had a joint book lunch with your uncle, and I gave him a copy. So if he liked my book, it's still in his bookshelf because he throws away books that he doesn't like." So my cousin found this for me, so that means my friend passed my uncle's test.
Wow. Yeah, that's really impressive beyond friendship. So what other things like have you been doing? Are you still doing your kumusho? Like
No,
what keeps you busy?
right now I'm writing for two TV shows, and
Mm.
I stopped doing the live streaming thing because well, I just can't get the hang of performing without an actual audience. So in the beginning it was fun. I would be performing on this platform, and then I would read the comments. People would be cheering for you in the comments, laughing, writing
Mm.
stuff. But after a while, I'm like, uh, this isn't doing anything for me. I still miss performing live, and it made me miss performing live even more. So
Right.
I eventually just had to stop the live streaming thing and just
Mm.
focus on my work from home stuff. Actually,
Right.
now that you mention it, I haven't performed online in like a few
Oh.
months. I think the last Instagram live,
Mm.
but other than that, it's been pretty much work from home for me and binge watching TV shows
Right.
and reading.
Yeah, so when was your last face-to-face live audience performance? How long has it been?
Huh. Feb 2020, I think. Either March or Feb or March 2020 was my last live
Oh,
performance for my
wow.
anniversary. So I celebrated my 17th year in Feb of 2020, and then I did a small show in a coffee shop to celebrate. And I was
Mm.
thinking, wow, 2020 is, my 2020 started out really well for me. I had a few gigs in Jan, and then a big hosting gig in Feb. Then I had all these brilliant ideas for events, and and then all of a sudden, COVID, the
Oh God.
anti-fun police. Yeah, they should come up with a mascot, like a fun-looking COVID mascot. Hi there, I'm the anti-fun police. Now it's
I'm the
time.
killjoy of the world.
Then guess what, guys? I'm now going to expose humanity's greed
And
and
stupidity.
indifference, stupidity, and what else? What else have we? Yeah, COVID. Years from now, I'm gonna think about COVID and remember all the nasty stuff it has exposed with regarding human nature and stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think there's a lot of humor there in some
Yeah,
ways. It's like dark humor, I think.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But
like
during this pandemic, I just realized that we don't get in touch too much, but I think we have this kind of friendship that's there's a common understanding.
oh no, I
But
stalk you all the time. You might not know
oh,
it. I check
really?
your feed. I edit your photos. I like
Oh, that's why
I
everything is changing.
I would like steal a photo of yours on Facebook and write a letter. No?
Wow. Thank you for revealing that to me. Okay, bye. So, yes, in all, I will redirect that back. That's kind of creepy. I love it.
No,
But yeah,
actually, no. I read something that you don't really need to get in touch with your true friends as often as you would with the superficial friends. I guess
yeah.
uh, like my good friend from high school, Lawrence, who's in LA. We
Hi, Lawrence.
probably we talk maybe once every quarter, or
Mhm.
whenever whenever I have a question about something stupid, or if I have a brilliant dumb idea I'd like to share. But it's not like we talk every week. But whenever we do, it's like we were just talking like last night.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how it is. Like pretty much us when we talk, we don't even do the super, what do you call these formalities? Like, hey, it's been a while. What are you doing? By the way, it's as simple as, hey, Wish, where's my so and so? Hey, can you get me this?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
hey, watch this show there. So,
Yeah. And I also appreciated that I think during the pandemic we go through roller coasters of emotions, and I think like I appreciated it that you had that you shared a little bit of yourself more with me during that time. And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's really like what you're saying. It's just really very natural for really truly authentic friends to just do that without any hesitation or any judgment or whatsoever. But
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Mike is human. Okay, now I understand. No, I'm just
No, plus
kidding.
plus if you've been stuck home for a long time, you eventually I wouldn't say you get tired of the people you're living with. It's just that it gets boring, I guess. Not in a bad way. It's just that, like, for example, the last time I went out was March 13, 2020.
That was my
Uh,
birthday.
oh, see, I celebrated without you.
Thank you.
I, I was alone. I was alone in a coffee shop, contemplating. Oh my, there's going to be a lockdown on the 16th. It's
Mm.
probably the last time I'll ever be out. So happy birthday, Wish. See, I mental signal. But yeah, so after that, after March 13, 2020, the only time I've been out is for my vaccine. I've been stuck
Right.
at home. I've been on hermit mode ever since. So I do
Amazing.
everything. I do everything online. Well, actually, it's my sister who does for example, buying groceries, buying
Mm.
food stuff. But other than
Thanks,
that,
sister.
it's all been online for me. So I basically live in the matrix now. So I'm waiting to
Can
get
you?
unbanned.
So how is this like entire pandemic do you think will evolve your humor or your performance when you can get to
Ah,
perform again?
no, the pandemic actually, if the pandemic were a person, it actually, knocked at my door and went, Michael Son, you can stop performing now because you're
Oh.
a great guy regardless. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I am confused there. Who's
The
that
world doesn't
asshole pandemic who knocked at your
the world
door?
the world doesn't deserve you there. No. No, actually, I have one realization.
Mm.
You see, during the pandemic, I rewatched Devil's Advocate, the Keanu Reeves movie with Al Pacino
Yes, yeah.
and Charlize Theron. And there's this Al Pacino monologue towards the end where he talks about you build egos fiber optically connected. Sorry, you build egos the size of cathedrals, fiber optically connected to every eager impulse, being your own god, blah blah blah. And I realized, darn, he was talking about social media,
Yes.
and
Wow.
and this was like in the 90s. Diba?
Yeah.
So I'm like Al Pacino. And after that, I stopped using Facebook. No, I still use Messenger, but I logged out
Mm.
of Facebook and
Mm.
I realized I don't need to be on a SOCMED platform. I check Instagram from time to time, but
Mm.
right now I'd rather be in touch with a few people. I read this article where you can only maintain 20 friends at a time. And then after reading it, I'm like, hey, I don't even have 20 friends. Cool.
You've
But no,
achieved the epitome of friendship standards.
it's gotten ridiculous. Like, check your Facebook, for example, and sometimes you see or you'll read you have 5,000 friends, or you'll click on a person and it says 5,000 friends full, meaning they can't accept
Wow.
any more friends. Or you try to add someone and they go, this person has too many friends, thus cannot accept your friend request. Choose to be a follower. Like,
Wow. That's so
no, but
superficial.
my point is, yeah, you have like thousands of friends on your social media, but you think about it, none of these people, a lot of these people don't matter in the greater scheme of things.
Absolutely.
Like you, like out of 5,000, you'll find like one Wish, Ronquillo, and that's it. Everyone else
Yeah.
is like a hi, hello, somebody you met at an event, and they're like, hey, I'm gonna add you.
Yeah.
Or somebody who saw you randomly and thought you were cute and added you anyway, or a friend of a friend. When they do this thing, you might know
Yeah.
these are
Yeah.
people you might know. They should add something. These are people you might know but not necessarily want to be friends with. Necessarily like.
Yeah, yeah, it's like here are the friends, here are the people you might know but don't care about, but wanted
Right.
to snoop around anyways.
So this is a girl who has some beach photos. Stalk away, pervert.
But they wanted to show off, so
Yeah,
it's a stalker's paradise, I suppose.
yeah. That's actually what social media promotes. I think this is just my opinion, but it
Mm,
promotes stalking and creepiness because it's the equivalent of a stranger entering your house and going through your photo albums. Like
yeah.
imagine just walking into your apartment or your house one day and there's this guy checking your photo albums and, hey, Wish Ronquillo, I love this wedding photo. I'm gonna take a photo of this for my creepy collage at home. Now I'm going, wait, do you have any albums of your husband? I want to be friends with him too. You know?
The way you put it, that's extra creepy. That's
Or
why they
imagine
draw the line.
like sometimes you have a public page, right? You have like
I
a author
do.
page.
I
So
do.
sometimes you'll post something, right? For example,
Mm,
this is me having coffee somewhere, and then you'll have these random comments from people you don't know, right?
yeah.
And then they start fighting. So imagine that in real life. You're in a coffee shop having coffee, and all of a sudden a stranger walks up to you and, hey, I like that. Hey, you're having a cappuccino. That's great. I like cappuccinos too. And then another guy shows up. "Bleh, I hate cappuccinos. Cappuccinos are for losers." And then another guy shows up. Hey guys, stop fighting. You have no right to my opinion. I don't like you. Well, I don't like you either. Let me put a thumbs down on your face. So
Oh my gosh, now you're giving me an idea to make a short film with this, literally. Probably when we see each other, we should
yeah,
make
yeah, yeah,
this with my film director
yeah.
brother and we make
I
something. I
saw
mean, this is
your video.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I saw your video. That was your brother, right? The parking lot thing.
No, this Dear Maggie is with my best friend and my best
Ah, okay,
friend's
okay.
husband and
Yeah, that was a
another
sad
friend of
video
ours.
actually. If I
It
remember
is.
correctly, Dear Maggie was pretty sad after watching it. I'm like,
Yeah. So
uh,
yeah, I mean I went back to my creative roots, so I
mhm.
started doing script writing again, and that's one of my first ones
Oh,
after my
okay, okay,
corporate job. And
okay.
when we did that
But you,
for Mhm.
sorry, but you didn't quit your corporate job, right?
No, at that time, I left my
You did.
corporate job, my
Ah,
sucky corporate job, and then I want to run away out of Australia for a while. And then I got stuck in San Diego in California
oh,
for 3 months because I've got some paperwork that I needed to fix.
they
So I
realize
was
you were
there.
spy. They're like, are you really Wish Ronquillo or Elena something, some
Maria
Russian?
Elena Cristina.
No,
No,
let me
it's
guess. You had a sucky corporate job, and one morning you realize, ah, I have shitloads of money, but I feel so empty. I'm gonna write a
no, no.
script and do whatever the hell I want.
I wish it's just like a Hollywood movie like that, but it's a little gloomier and darker than that,
Okay. No, actually,
let's
you
say.
mentioned this to me. I
Yeah.
remember we were chatting, and you don't really share these things with me. You just give me like little cryptic messages like, I'm going through a phase, or I'm not really. I'll tell you all about it next time. So I know when something's going on with Wish. The one sentence replies that are loaded with what ifs. Uh-huh. I'll
Well,
let you know.
it's great to tell you more about these things face to face because,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
exactly.
because some of these things are beyond just words. It's also the expression that you're going to give, like when you're storytelling, so those kind of things. So,
Because
yeah, it's
you can't really tell me too many things because you might be watching TV one day, and you're like, wait a minute, this is exactly what happened to me, and then cut to written by Mike Unson.
no,
No,
that's great. I mean, I will be flattered if you're going to
no,
write a
but
story about me on TV. That's going to be
sorry,
fantastic.
sorry, but you're right about there are some things you can't say through text because my friend who's an NLP practitioner explained this to me that when
Mm,
you're chatting or texting with somebody, you don't have what they call tonality.
yes.
So you don't know, like, for example, I could tell you in person, get out of here, Wish. That'll never happen. So I'm like joking or something. But
Mm,
on text form, that may sound offensive. Might be, get out of here. That will never happen. Or
yeah.
fool, diba? So that's why as much as possible, I don't discuss anything important via text or chat. That's when I call because so many things can be misinterpreted when it's just words.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, especially like when you catch someone in a bad mood and then they read
Yeah,
like "Get
exactly.
out of here." It's just like, what the f- are you on about? Like,
Right, right,
it
right.
depending on the mood, it will have different interpretation as well.
Exactly, exactly.
So
And then
yeah,
you
so
start to overanalyze. Oh my God, Wish told me later. And then you tell your friends, she replied to me later. Ah, could have
he
been
replied to me, K. What is that
K.
all about? It's a fully loaded K.
I hate that. I hate when people send you the K or the U2. Like you send the. Have you ever experienced this? You send the like a nice holiday message to a friend of yours, like
Mm.
somebody whom you thought was a close or a friend. And you send something like, "Hey, I was thinking about you this Christmas. Haven't been in touch, but blah blah blah. Be well, blah blah." And then they just send you a one-word reply, "Likewise" or "You too,"
Right? Yeah, it's
or
kind of sad. It's
or
lazy.
the blue thumbs up.
It's so lazy, man. I mean, especially I take the opportunity messaging in full words because it's an
Right, right,
opportunity
right.
for me to keep on like honing my writing skills. And a lot of people are losing those writing skills. And I've seen like mostly my Filipino friends, Filipino family, they have this broken no vowel words all the time, and that's one of the signals that I stop replying or I just ghost. It's like, no, I can't.
Well, at least people are texting actual words now. I remember the first time we started texting, like what the first time text messaging became a thing. I would say mid
96,
90s, I
95.
think. Yeah, 96,
Yeah,
95, or 98.
yeah,
People
yeah.
were instead of saying late, they'll send you an L with the number
Eight.
eight.
Yeah.
So I'll letter B late L8, and then eventually they introduced T9 dictionaries. That's what you call it, T9
Right.
messaging.
Yes.
And
Yes.
people, in my school, for example, people could not get, well, a lot of people couldn't get the T9 thing. They're like, oh, look at this. It's like it's possessed. And then at first I was one of those people who thought that T9 was like a big mistake. And then when I tried playing around with it, I'm like, no, no, it's actually predicting. That's why they call it predictive text. It's trying to
Yes.
figure out what word you're spelling. So with the combination, so you're pressing the buttons fewer times.
Yes.
So
And also remember that we text like that, we need to make it as short as possible because you only
right,
have
right,
like
right.
a certain number of characters, 60
Yeah,
characters or something,
six
and then
speaks.
it's
It started with six,
expensive.
and back then, like I remember, I had this phone. It was a one-liner, so you could only see the messages per line, and
Expensive.
it was strange. This particular phone that I had, this was my first GSM phone. I can't remember the brand right now, but
Mm,
it had this thing where if you turn on caller ID, you
yeah.
have to decide whether the name shows up when you're receiving a phone call or when you're
Mm.
receiving a text message. It can't be both. So there's something in the
Oh,
setting where something like name appears for phone call or text.
oh
So
my gosh.
naturally I put it on text because when you pick up your phone, you can just say, "Who is this?"
Yeah, yeah,
but
that's right. That's right.
for texting, see the mere act of asking who someone is, like
That's already
uh
50 cents for you or something, right?
right,
Remember
and
like 10
people
cents or whatever?
some people would get offended because, what, you deleted my number?
And you only have at that time you can only have like 100 numbers or 15 numbers in your on your
Yeah,
phone.
something like that, depending on your phone. I think it started with, there were models that can only accommodate 50 numbers on the phone book. Then it became
Yeah.
100. Then eventually it got out of the hand. Like there was a time I had I think 3,000 phone numbers on my phone book. I had to, clean it up. And right now, I think I'm down to 400, but I probably talk to less than 100 people in that 400 list. Of course, you have the occasional, people tend to message you when they need something,
Yes.
especially if it's convenient to them. Oh, you work in a TV station. Can you do this for me? Or you had this thing. Hey, I haven't spoken to you in 20 years, but I heard. Oh, you have a book out. Can you give me a free copy? Even though I
Yep.
know you're not making any money out of that book yet, but I'd like to
Uh-huh.
support you by asking for a free copy. Or I want to go to your event, but can I be put on the guest list because
That
yeah,
damn guest list. Oh my
I
gosh.
one time I was years ago I was going to a popular comedian,
Mm,
and I got a message from somebody who I last spoke to probably in college, maybe. So
right?
this was 2013, I think, and
Mm.
a guy who I last hung out with in the 90s suddenly messaged me and was kind of like he didn't really outright say, "Hey, can I have free tickets?" Something like,
Wow.
"Oh, I wanna watch your show." So I like, "Oh, you can call this number. This is my agent. She has a few tickets on her, so you can buy
Mm.
some from her." And then the next reply was, "Oh, I have to buy them," and that was it.
Wow. Wow. Why are people that feeling so entitled, like for
Yeah,
freebies? I
yeah.
can't. I can't deal with
I
these
don't know.
people.
I don't know when this started. I remember a time when there was this popular food critic,
Mm,
and she had this book where she had a book that you could buy in bookstores or wherever, and there would be reviews. There would be detailed reviews of restaurants.
oh.
And when I did some research, this particular food critic uh, would only write about a restaurant if she enjoyed that restaurant. But if not, she
Oh.
wouldn't say anything negative. Nowadays, you see food critics are like, oh, let's say, for example, I ate at Wishes Cafe and
Mm-hmm.
it's the worst place, blah, blah, blah. So you wouldn't read anything like that from this particular food critic. And she never asked for freebies. She actually
Mm.
came unannounced, anonymous,
Mm.
paid her bill. And if she liked the food, she'll write about it. If she didn't, she won't say anything.
Ah.
But nowadays, you have these food, whatever you call them. I don't know what you call them, reviewing restaurants, and then at
Yeah.
the end, were sponsored, or they got the meal for free, or they're like
Right.
super skinny, and they're like, I'm like, if you look like a model and you have no business reviewing food. I
Go
mean,
away.
why are you even reviewing lechon or whatever
That's true. But
fattening dish?
actually it's a um I actually praise skinny people who could eat so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. That's
But I
different.
think it causes a little bit more hate than love because everybody's like, how come you're still skinny and you're eating a lot? So yeah, I like those kind of food like what you're mentioning, that food critic who's got like an end in mind, like what she wanted to do and how she wanted to build a positive kind of environment for her criticism about only the food that she loves, and that's what she wanted to explore. And the problem nowadays is that a lot of people are hiding behind their social media accounts to criticize people really badly. So because for me, I also love to be open and sometimes really criticize and be a critic about, especially what I eat or what I drink.
Right,
But
right,
when I don't like something, especially a service, I just want it to be a little bit more constructive than
right, right,
destructive
right. See, that's
because you need to help them.
people are
Yeah.
criticizing for the sake of criticizing because it probably makes them feel good to bash something. But actually, when you criticize, it's because you want this place or you want this person to be better, right? Like for
Yes.
example, if you watch, let's say, a video of somebody and you simply write cringy, so I'm like, why do you even bother watching this video?
Yeah.
Or or for example, you'd read comments like, "Oh, I watched this video. I stopped at 30 minutes." Like, let's say it's an hour video, and I'm like, "Wow, why do you bother watching?" I think you would have figured out it was bad from the first 2 3 minutes, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Like, mostly when you capture an audience attention, it's the
yeah.
first 30 seconds, right? Or something like that. So
Or
yeah, it's strange, those people. I don't know.
it's my favorite. You'll have let's say there's a celebrity who says something, comes up with
Mm,
a video with a very good message, and you have this anonymous idiot with no profile pic, with a code, with a username, zero followers, zero content, with
troll.
and you have my respect. And I'm like, I don't think this guy gives a damn whether they get your respect or not. So just shut up and watch it. Press like, press dislike, but you
Exactly.
have my respect, man. Okay.
Yes, man. I felt so much that I have to make this
Uh,
account. So, apart from your two exciting TV shows, what are your future projects? I mean, it looks
uh,
like Philippines is getting vaccinated and all of these things, and probably some things will be opening up. Well, I'm just trying to attract positive energy here.
mhm. I'm not even sure. No, no, I have a few personal projects like I don't know if I ever told you, but I do ink drawings.
Yes, yes,
So
you mentioned it to me. You've shown me
yeah,
some. Yes.
yeah, actually. So right. So anyway, I have this friend from high school who became my good friend uh, in college, and then we kept in touch. In fact, every time I would bump into him, he would be like, who he would tell his wife, "Oh, this is my friend Mike from Benil, and he does these awesome ink drawings." And then
Oh.
recently, he messaged me and he wrote a comment in one of my. I found an old drawing of mine. I posted it on Instagram, and then he
Mm.
messaged me and he's like, "Can you make me one? Uh, I'll have it framed." Even
Oh.
even offered to pay for it, but I'm like, no, no, you don't have to. I'll make you one. Every time something good happens, a new variant shows up.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
COVID anti-fun police is always coming up with new ways to annoy us. Aha! You stopped Delta, eh? Let me call my latest invention, Omicron, or whatever. So I'm not sure.
Mm.
Actually, to be honest, I'm not even that excited to go back to doing live shows.
Mm.
If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But otherwise,
True.
I'm just happy to be able to
Do some
to
fulfilling work.
to do fulfilling work while we're having this pandemic, this wretched
Pandemic.
this wretched pandemic.
Wretched. Yes.
I must have used that word like 100 times when I'm talking to friends. I'd be like, "Hey, how are you doing in this wretched pandemic?"
So that's a good word that we should take account as
Yeah,
part of
instead
the
of
theme of the pandemic COVID
yeah,
anti-police, the wretched.
fun police. Yeah, yeah. We shouldn't be saying things like, "I hate this pandemic." No, hate should be reserved for other more annoying stuff like greed and other
Murder.
other other things, murder, things like that. But uh, for things like we shouldn't say things like, "I hate this sport," or "I hate this basketball team,"
Mm.
or whatever.
Mm.
I learned this from a high school teacher.
Mm.
I remember he'd always tell me, "Oh, you don't use the word hate. Just say I don't like."
Wow.
Hate has anger in it. When you say like I hate this and that, there's some form. There's a
There's a
element of anger.
power.
There's a power to saying that you hate. Whereas if you just simply say I don't like,
Yeah,
there's a chance that you'll end up liking this thing eventually, or liking this
that's true.
person once you get to know them, right? Otherwise, if you say I hate Wish because
Mm.
you, let's say, or I hate Mike, I met him once and he didn't he
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 didn't
rubbed
kiss
me
me
the
on the
wrong way,
cheek.
right? Didn't kiss me, didn't make out with me. I hate him, or but so say I don't like him. I don't like that guy.
Yeah.
See, listen to this. For example, let's say somebody goes, "Hey, do you know so and so?" Oh, I don't really like that guy.
Mm.
So it's
It's
like a
not
subjective
loaded.
thing. It's not loaded. You just say, I
Yeah.
don't like him. I don't know. I don't like him. He's
Yeah.
I don't like him. We uh, I hate that guy. See, when you say
Yeah.
that, the next
Yeah.
sentence could be like, I'm gonna kill him. Next time I see him, I'm gonna stick some sedative. I'm gonna, put sedatives in his drink, put him in a drum, and mix him with, di ba? you know.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I really love this, Mike, because I'm about to like do a closing up saying like what's the word you can impart to our listeners. So I think
Okay, okay.
you really answered that very well about choosing a different word,
Right, right.
not hate.
Yeah, hate is something you reserve the word hate for something that's really hateful,
Mm,
not for trivial things. Say, I
yes.
hate this. Like you can't just say, I hate the color blue, or I hate
Yeah.
this drink. I hate soft drinks, or I hate vegetables. No, they don't deserve your hate.
Yeah,
Like this
to
salad,
you.
this salad would one day talk back at you, and I do not deserve your hate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what did they do to you, right? So yeah,
right, right, right.
actually if a lot of people um stop using the word hate, probably we're gonna be a little bit more peaceful, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
wow,
A
that's
little more pleasant.
very
Yeah.
yeah, that's a very, very good part to close this. And Mike making an impact in my new podcast. And
Yeah,
thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's
yeah.
always been amazing to catch up with you and have conversation with you. And I hope we can sit down again, have some
Yeah,
beer
sure, sure.
and talk about everything again. And thank you so much.
Yeah, sure, sure. Anytime, anytime. I tell some of my friends that during these times, it's time that I have a lot of.
Mm,
So, but you have a lot of time, but you can't really go out. You can't really meet up with people. But there are ways around it. Like, yeah, you could do video calls. You could video chat, make a phone call, and there's a certain power to it, like connecting to someone, calling a friend up, or sending, "Hey, how are you doing?" Or "Hey, let's talk later." Stuff like that. These
yeah,
are powerful things. Connection is a powerful thing, and it has the
totally.
power to make people feel good. And yeah, so that's what we should be using our words for, to make people feel good, and yeah, everything else will follow, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, well said. One of the most important words about life is kindness. It is defined as the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. As Mark Twain quoted from a compassion point of view, states that kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. You have to take note that nowadays people could be harsh to each other, and probably because we're looking the wrong way. If you can see, when it comes to this word, there are lots of amazing synonyms that could imbibe the feeling that you may want to think more about and project out there, like generosity, tenderness, patience, indulgence, thoughtfulness, courteousness, philanthropy, sweetness, selflessness, and warmth. There are so many words that is equivalent to kindness. So I'm leaving you with that. Think about it. It's fantastic to be kind. I hope you love eavesdropping. You should start thinking about your synonyms. What are they? Thank you for listening to Human Thesaurus podcast. Please rate and subscribe. Your support means a great deal. Join me again next week for another episode. I'm your host, Wish Ronquillo Peacock. Have a fantastic day and thanks for listening.